Personal diplomacy, personal relationships, whether it be king or peasant, also requires you to come with not only with humility, but with no agenda. With no agenda. You come in the spirit of Jesus of Nazareth and let the Spirit carry you in the personal relationship. People-to-people diplomacy means establishing a personal relationship, whether it be king or a person on the street. The idea is to connect personally, lovingly.
Can you give me an example?
There are very good examples of personal diplomacy that work firsthand. What happens is this, that if you come with humility, if you come with a heart for reconciliation, people can read that. And it's in that humility and in that spirit of loving that works.
What are some of the barriers to that common ground?
The barriers to the common ground is really ignorance of each other and the fear we have that goes with ignorance. And we've got to overcome that ignorance. We have to learn about each other, respect each other, and really change our mode of thinking.
Is there a real hope that the Christian-Muslim divide can be overcome?
There is an absolute real hope that we can overcome the divide. I know firsthand that it can be done.
What are some of the examples that you want to talk about where you've seen that in action?
I had the opportunity to go to Sudan maybe 12 times, been to Darfur, and it's still not an answer. Let me cut that out.
When you talk of people-to-people diplomacy, what do you mean?
People-to-people diplomacy is our only real hope. Governments cannot connect. There's too much baggage they carry. I've been to Darfur 2 or 3 times, and it was an incredible experience. The sea of young children, beautiful faces sitting there, knowing that their fathers before them were practicing the same agricultural practices they did 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. It was the sun, the animal, and praying for rain. The key to the Darfur conflict is water. And amazingly, the Lord has provided incredible seas of fresh water in North Darfur, a little dry in the middle, but almost surface water in South Darfur. And what's needed is to reach into that water. If we provide water to people, agriculture and will follow, industries can follow, training of them, the new farm techniques will follow, but everything falls around water. So we urge the governments and the Organization for Islamic Conference, the United Nations, to focus on the water issue to provide the groundwork for reconciliation. People of good heart, Muslim and Christian, Jewish, want to know whether really we can overcome this instinct for fighting each other and overcome 800 years of conflict, 800 years that's been inculcated in us. We automatically fall into defensive postures. We automatically feel we're being threatened. It's a mindset. Unless that mindset is changed, unless we're prepared to receive new information that's true and valid, unless we open up our hearts, there's no real chance for reconciliation. That's the fact of the matter. So the real hope is that we are willing now, you and I, start with us, to learn more about each other, Muslim and Christian and Jew, to respect each other, history, to reach out, stay where we are in our religious faiths, no conversions here, stay where you are, if that's where you want to be, and climb out to that common ground we share together. There is a common ground of spirituality as the children of Abraham that we share. It is larger and much more significant than we understand. There's new findings now, new research that has exposed these new common ground. And the bridges to the common ground is merely a low-level vehicle to engage people in reaching across that bridge to each other. That's what the bridges to the common ground really is. So we ask you to reach into your own heart and let's reach out to each other. Let's form small groups, Muslim, Christian, and Jew, in your own community. Join together, get to know each other, become friends, learn together. Go to the site, read the materials on the site, see the lessons of others, and make your own decision. But be open to a new place that we share together. We should not reject our history, our background. We don't want to turn our back on our families and our relationships that we cherish and love. But we do want to find a place where we can find peace together. And that's what Bridges to Common Ground is all about. People say Muslims have not stood up against violence. I hear that repeatedly. But it's not true. The fact is that the Fiqh Council of North America, which is the supreme jurist council for the Muslim community in this country, has issued a fatwa against violence. And on November 30th in 2007, at the National Press Club, Carter McCarrick, Dean of the Episcopal Cathedral, and a Jewish rabbi by the name of Jack Luxembourg, received, on behalf of the Christian and Jewish community, that fatwa against violence. These people took personal risks to issue that fatwa, commanding every believing Muslim to stand up against violence and to ask them to turn anybody who might be interested in doing hurt to Americans or anybody else in the world who issue harm, they must turn them into civil authorities. They also said in the fatwa that terrorists who commit suicide bombings are just that, terrorists. They're not real believers. And to stand up against that is the message we have to understand. If we don't want to receive that information, if we want to believe that Muslims harbor hate and violence generically, we're closing the door to mainstream Muslims to join with all Americans to fight violence and terrorism. The people of Sudan and the people of America are very similar. Sudan is actually a cosmopolitan country, the way we are. It's a mixture of Christians and Muslims, different shades of color, different backgrounds. It's a great opportunity to demonstrate that we do share a common ground that we don't understand and need to learn about. One of the examples I'd like to mention to you is we had the opportunity to speak at a mosque in Khartoum, Sudan, on a Friday night. When they get messages they get routinely are not messages of love of Israel or love of America, but the reception we had to the message of reconciliation and peace was enormous. Thousands of people in that audience raced up after the talk to hold us and love us and touch us with the affection that was felt, was tangible and physical. And that is the heart of the Sudanese people. If we come to them with a spirit of humility, if we come to them in the spirit of Jesus of Nazareth, if we come to them without agenda, but just to love and be with them, respect them. Respect is a key factor, respecting them. They will respond. Another example of the tremendous heart they have, and I don't know if this would ever happen in the United States, but when I was there, these glasses here actually came apart. And I was really worried about the glasses. They're kind of expensive for me, and I wanted to get them fixed. So I asked the person I was with if he would mind finding an eyeglass shop to fix it. But the first shop we went into was with a woman running her own business. But she said she didn't have the expertise to help. But down the street, there was someone there. We went down the street, just walked into this little shop, and there were 2 or 3 men hanging around, two or three fellows doing some work. And the owner welcomed us and said we'd wait a minute to take care of the glasses. And while we were waiting, he went out down the street and bought ourselves some Coca-Cola and water and brought it back for us. And then this fellow took my glasses apart. I was in total panic because I thought we'd never get them back together again. This fellow took the glasses apart, put it back together again, and took the time in great detail to fix them perfectly. And when I asked the owner of the shop, and I was fearful, what is it going to cost? It's going to be expensive. So I asked the owner, how much is this? He said, my friend, I cannot charge you anything. You come as a guest of our country. We welcome you as a guest, and there's no charge. Now, that's an incredible demonstration of generosity of spirit, kindness, receiving a stranger in the Arab and Muslim tradition, and welcome to your home, in this case to your shop. I want to tell you a little bit about Acts 9:15 and 16. But I want to give you the verses just before that to give you a framework. In Damascus, there was a disciple named Ananias. The Lord called to him in a vision. Ananias? Yes, Lord, he answered. The Lord told him, go to the house of Judas on the Straight Street and ask for a man from Tarsus named Saul, for he is praying. In the vision he has seen a man named Ananias come and place his hands on him to restore his sight. Lord, Ananias answered, I have heard many reports about this man and all the harm he has done to your people in Jerusalem. And he has come here with authority from the chief priests to arrest all who call on your name. But the Lord said to Ananias, go, this man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles, to the kings, and the people of Israel. I want to repeat that. Go, this man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings and to the people of Israel. But this is this verse that follows is not talked about. We stopped there. But here's the verse that really counts. It reads as follows. I will show him, this is verse 16, I will show him how much he must suffer for my name. I will show him how much he must suffer for my name.